Hi everybody, welcome back. So this is day 1 and we're going to start folding some clothes. What is your least favorite chore? And what time of day do you prefer to clean? I used to always keep a very clean house before I had these last 2 little kids. But I've let go of a lot of obsession over the cleanliness. Sure, I would prefer the house to always stay clean, but it's just not feasible at this season of my life. But while we're at it, I asked what was your least favorite chore? What is your favorite chore? I guess I would say that my least favorite is actually cleaning the floors, and that's just because once I do sweep and mop the entire house, my lower back and sciatic nerve decide to really bother me, and then once I sit down I get stiff and I can hardly move the rest of the day. My favorite would probably be a tie between folding the clothes, even though I hate to put them up, and the dishes, because even though I don't like to unload the dishwasher, I like to load it. I find it satisfying if I can stack the dishes all in there, and not have any left to wash by hand, except for maybe like some bigger pots or something like that. So yeah, that's my favorite and least favorite. What are yours? And then I had also said, what time of day do you prefer to clean? I like to wake up to a clean house, so I would say that I prefer to clean before I go to bed. But I don't do that very much anymore either. I'm just, I'm older now, and once the kids are down and it's quiet, I like to enjoy that time, not be up cleaning the house. Although sometimes that's when it hits me to get up and do things. So I take advantage of that and get up and do it like I'm doing on this night right here. I decided to go ahead and get those clothes done before going to bed. Okay, day 2. Y'all, this footage is probably over a month old. I had this box that I had got my camera in the mail, and I had just been throwing things in. I was keeping the box for in case I was going to return the camera. And I had just been throwing stuff in the box that I knew was trash. And so finally I was tired of it sitting there and decided to go through and clean it. And then you know how that just kind of it's like it gets the ball rolling. So you start and then you keep going and going and going. That's what happened. So I ended up cleaning off my entire desk area because that is a catch-all. And I find myself just putting everything there to get it off of the kitchen cabinets. So I'm like, I'll tell the kids, here, go put this on my desk. Here, go put this on my desk. And then I end up with a stack of crap that I have to go through because that's my fault. But anyway, so I'm going to clean off my desk area. And I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes when I start cleaning, it leads to rearranging. I have cleaning ADHD. I know I've heard this before on other channels too. I cannot get in one space and clean it and move on to the next. I tend to bounce around. So if I'm cleaning an area and I find something there that needs to go somewhere else, I'll bring it. And then I start doing stuff in that area. And so you see what I'm saying? I will go back and forth. I think that's why cleaning makes me so tired these days, is because I don't know how to start in one room and finish. Do you have that problem? I know I have heard other cleaning channels say this as well. So I think it's a pretty common thing. But I'd like to hear your input.
Sometimes we act like a fool, not aware we're troublemakers. Sometimes we try to be cool, not being givers, only takers. Stop for a minute, stop and breathe for a minute. Don't get over your head, try to listen instead, won't you? Who you wanna be for a minute? Don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you? You could gain from being a bit nicer, know when to talk and when to shut your mouth. You're so moody, always such a fighter. Try to open up your mind sometimes, you'll be just fine. Sometimes we yell when we're sad, and sometimes we laugh when we're afraid. Sometimes we smile when we're mad, and some lines we wished we'd never said. Stop for a minute, stop and breathe for a minute. Don't get over your head, try to listen instead, won't you? Think for a minute, who you wanna be for a minute. Don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you? You could gain from being a bit nicer, know when to talk and when to shut your mouth. You're so moody, always such a fighter. Try to open up your mind sometimes, you'll be just fine.
So I don't think this footage is actually over a month old, because I see that I'm wearing my house coat, which means it would have been when we had our first little cool spell. I don't remember how long ago that was. I'd say probably at least 2 weeks, but I definitely don't think it's been over a month already. And I'm proud to say that my desk area is still about 90% clean. So we finally make it to day 3, where the rest of this housework is coming from. I wanted this to be a get it all done video, which I did not do bathrooms, and I didn't mop. But I got the kitchen done. I got Bo's room was still a little messy from a few weeks ago when he had company, and they dug up in the top of the closet and took stuff down that I had put up. And so I didn't realize his room was like that until after the company left. Otherwise, I'd have had them clean it together, but because I didn't realize, I didn't think it was fair to ask him to clean it up all, alone. And so and it wasn't even a big deal. The last time I cleaned his room, which took me 3 full days to clean it, he's been keeping it up since then, which I guess that's mainly because he doesn't even play in there. He doesn't like his room. He's scared of it, I believe. And so, he will rarely play in there. If he has company, he'll play in there. But for the most part, he will just go in there and get whatever it is that he wants and comes back out. That was a container of unstuffed cabbage rolls that had got knocked out of the freezer this morning, or on that morning. And the bowl had cracked, which is so sad. And I was going to just, heat it. We were going to eat that for supper. But then I realized there were some broken pieces of the plastic on the top. And so, on the top of the food. So I just decided to go ahead and throw that away. So anyway, we're back to Bo's room. It hadn't been really bad until that weekend with the company, and it just had never gotten cleaned up. So I do go ahead and get in there and clean it. Doesn't take me long. And then the rest of it was just, I did sweep. I did do some more clothes. We started this video folding clothes, and we're going to end it with folding clothes. But anyway, I guess I should say that earlier when I was talking about favorite and least favorite things about cleaning, I would say for myself personally that my favorite part is seeing the finished product, the the big reveal. It is so satisfying to walk through a clean house. And you see this right here, how the end of my blanket is unlevel. When I watch other cleaning channels and they make their bed and this happens, I'm like talking to them saying, I know you can see that that blanket is not straight. And that's part of my OCD, y'all, is that I can't stand to see, an uneven blanket or just whatever. I'm rambling at this point, but yeah, I did it myself. Didn't even realize that it was unlevel. So here is the trick-or-treating aftermath. I had told Bo that night when we got back from trick-or-treating to dump out that candy and go through it and give me the good stuff. Aubrey did the same thing, but she did it on the counter in the kitchen. And so when she picked it, put it back in the bag. He dumped his out right there. I dug through it, got me some chocolate, some Reese's, the good stuff, and then, it got left there. So I did pick it up for him, and lo and behold, yesterday, which is the day after what I'm filming here, I came home from a doctor's appointment, and it was dumped back out on the floor. And so I was like, now, come on, that is frustrating to me. I'm sure it's frustrating to any mama. But, whatever. I'm going to do with this Easter, what in the world? This Halloween candy, just like I did with their homecoming parade candy, which is hide it.
Took me for granted. Don't recognize you anymore. Once sweet and caring, now cold and calculated. You can't be trusted. You want the world for your own. You want maximum profit. 'cause I don't recognize you anymore. Once sweet and caring, now cold and calculated. You can't be trusted. You want the world for your own. You want maximum profit. I can't afford to stay, so get out of my way. Smoking down the track, I never looking back. You can't be with me anymore. You can't be with me. Oh, oh. Once I will let you in, but now I let you go. Oh, oh. I can't afford to stay, so get out of my way. Smoking down the track and never looking back. You can't be with me anymore. You can't be with me. Oh, oh, yeah. Once I will let you in, but now I let you go.
So his room looks worse than it actually was. It was mainly just some of his binders were out because when his friend was over that weekend, they looked through Pokemon cards. And so I just had to put those back in the closet on the shelf. And then, it was like big stuff like just out that needed to be put back. And then like his drawer full of Hot Wheels cars and that drawer with the Legos, that had been sitting out on the dining room table for a while. He had picked it up off of the floor, but it had never been brought back to the room. But I remember saying in that previous video where that happened that, I was satisfied with him at least picking it up off of the floor, because at least I didn't have to get down there and do it. And for those who don't know, he does have a mood regulation disorder, and so it is not always the easiest thing to get him to do stuff. So quite honestly, I pick my battles, as do all parents. And without going into too much detail, if y'all ever wonder why I'm always doing the things and not Bo, that's why. There are times that I am more more forceful with it. But I keep saying, for the sake of the video, I don't say, okay, go do that, because then I won't have anything to film. So, and I know that sounds backwards, but I do it a lot lately since I have started this channel. I know that needs to get done, but I'm in my head going, I'm going to save that when I can film it. And so, yeah, just a little backstory on that. The room was not as bad as it looked. It did not take long to get everything back where it belonged. And yeah, so far it's still clean. But that was only yesterday.
You were the top that eclipsed the room. I was the one who arrived too soon. But no one would ever bet against us if they saw us exchanging glances. I was too busy to fall in love. You were too busy to break my heart. Nobody else was there to stop us. Nobody else was there to warn us. Now we go on and on with this poor love song we've been working on far too long, baby. Do you still remember when our hearts tuned up spontaneously? On and on like a marathon, we keep running from fighting for something. Something to remind us that we're better than this poor love song. Too busy watching the TV screen. Now we're just betting on broken dreams. Nobody's gonna come and save us. We cashed in too many empty favors, yeah. Now we go on and on with this poor love song we've been working on far too long, baby. Do you still remember when our hearts tuned up spontaneously? On and on like a marathon, we keep running from fighting for something. Something to remind us that we're better than this poor love song. Far too long, baby. Do you still remember when our hearts tuned up spontaneously? On and on like a marathon, we keep running from fighting for something. Something to remind us that we're better than this poor love song. Something to remind us that we're better than this poor love song.
The video is coming to an end, so I wanted to jump back in here and say that I'm so excited that I finally reached 100 subscribers. I know that isn't many. I know that it's not a lot, but for me, it's an accomplishment. I started with 0. So the thought that 100 people have even liked enough of my videos to subscribe, and if I look at my analytics, the majority of views that I get don't even come from my subscribers. So that's crazy. But anyway, I know it's not a huge accomplishment, but it's a start, right? And I'm going in the right direction. And so I'm hoping that this channel will continue to grow because, as I've said before, the reason that I started the channel was to hopefully motivate others as well as myself. I follow a lot of YouTube channels that really inspire me. And so I really want to be that same inspiration to other people. It's hard to put yourself out there every day. Like, I feel like my life is boring and I don't have anything to say. But if I can even reach one person, then that's huge. So anyway, thanks to everybody that comes back and watches these videos. So this is the after of his room. It's the only room that I even did an after on because I never think to do a before and after. It's just my brain doesn't go there. I jump in and get going and don't even think about it. So here I am bringing out the stuff that was in his room that did not belong in there, and I'm dumping his candy into that little blue bucket. We already have one like that full of candy from the homecoming parade, so I'll give a couple more days and then I'll hide this too. But like I said earlier, here we are finishing up the video folding clothes the same way we started. My battery actually dies, so I do not get to finish. Well, I finish, but you don't get to see it. If you like this type of video and you're new here, please subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the comments. If you've watched the whole video, Comment where you're watching from. That way I can get more familiar with you guys. I have a couple of people that comment regularly, but I would like to have more, get the interaction going and start some comments down in the bottom. Not comments, conversations down in the comments. Now, what are you waiting for? Go get some housework done, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.